Now, last time you saw me, we were discussing this car's new limestone roof and whether I actually liked it or not. As you can see, things have progressed quite a bit since then, so let's see what the rest of the paint looks like and whether I like it or not. So one of the issues I've come across while painting this is actually a difference in finish. Now the finish here on this panel, hopefully you can see, is lovely and shiny. You can see my hand reflection moving in the paint here. And this panel was painted on the body of the car. So the gun, shooting straight ahead with the nice long even strokes that I talked about. Now this door actually has an incredibly matte finish on it. I think the reason for that is that I took the doors off the car and painted them flat on the ground, which meant that the can pointed like this as they got sprayed along the ground. Now, I don't know if it's a receptacle within the can that picked up like a different mix of the paint, or whether it's just because they were in the sun and it dried too fast or it didn't go on thick enough, but there is a huge difference in the finish on the car at the moment. Now, I don't regret taking the doors off, because having the doors off the car let me get sort of all the way around, and it's painted as it should be, right? There's no old bits or like bits where I've had to try and get in to little niche areas. But I think to combat this, when I paint this panel, the one that's yet to be painted, I'm also just going to blow back over this panel now it's on the body, and hopefully that'll give it the nice glossy finish, and it'll match this one. So don't worry too much about these rubber cappings, because this is actually paint from the previous owner when they hand painted it, and what I'll do is I'll just rub this down with like 1,000 grit sandpaper just to try and take them scabby bits of paint and silicone off. But what I actually wanted to show you, hopefully you can see it on camera, is when I said if you don't shake the cans enough it comes out a little bit like raptor lining. That is what that finish looks like if you don't shake these cans properly. Quite hard to see on this camera, but if you look at that there and then you look at sort of the finish of this panel here, which is really like a lovely shiny finish, yeah, that's what I mean by you need to shake the can before you spray for the full amount of time. I think it's 2 minutes 30, because otherwise it comes out and it leaves you a finish like this. And you, like me, will need to spend a significant amount of time wet and dry sanding it to try and make it look nice and smooth. So while we quickly just wait for some batteries to charge, I thought maybe we should just stop and talk about this limestone paint. I'm aware we mentioned it in the last video, but maybe I didn't show too much of it. This is the limestone which is on the sides and the roof. Actually, over time, it has mellowed out quite a lot. When this first went on, it was very, very yellow. It was almost like a sand glow yellow that you'd see on a Camel Trophy car. And I was very, very concerned. As it sat in the sunshine for a week, the colours really toned down. And I think now the marine blues on, or mostly on the body, and the tapes off all the cappings and things, it does actually look very, very good. So yeah, I'm really excited now to get this finished and see what the car looks like. Here we are then, back on the road again. Been a long time since I've driven this car, to be honest. It's you know, we've been working on the paint and things, but you know, what else have we done? We've done wheels and tyres, we've done gaskets. Yeah, we've done a lot. I'll be honest, I've probably been putting off driving this car, to be honest, for quite a while. It's actually quite an intimidating car to drive, really. Not because it's fast or anything, it's actually probably the opposite. It's intimidating because it's slow. When I say slow, I mean it's really slow. You know, it's shockingly slow, and the slow is not intimidating. It's actually more the, you know, it's the double clutching, it's the speed of the rest of the traffic that's the, you know, that's the intimidating bit of it, because everyone else wants to go fast, and you just can't. You know, you just can't go fast in cars like this. You know, the double clutching and stuff's really difficult in a car like this. It's noisy. You know, I've had it apart a lot, and I'm worried about it being back together properly. You know, there's a lot of things to worry about in a car like this. I think, you know, it doesn't help the area that I live in. It's quite built up. You know, there's lots of cars around here that are ultimately not particularly forgiving about you driving a car like this. You know, everyone just wants you to be doing normal traffic speeds, and you just can't. You know, you can get up to speed in this car. Yeah, it can do. You know, it can certainly do 40 miles an hour if you need it to do 40 miles an hour. But you know, round roads like this, you know, normally, you know, speed bumps and things, you would just speed up and slow down, speed up and slow down, no problem in a normal car. Whereas, a car like this, you know, you've really got to be on it with you know, with the things you're doing and the moves you're making. Plan all the gear changes properly. You know, I'm coming up to a red light now, and I'm just trying to coast up to it because I don't really want to go down into first, because it's just a pain to get into first. This gearbox has synchros on third and fourth, which is amazing. But it doesn't have synchros on first and second, so we're always sort of just plodding along, really. We're just going nice and steady. Luckily for me, there's actually a learner behind me, which is quite nice. Everyone's probably just blaming them for going slow rather than blaming me, which is lovely. No, there's a lot to take in when you drive cars like this, and you know, I'm obviously worried. Not worried as such, but you know, when you've taken a car apart and put it back together, you know, you're listening, aren't you, for what's this? Did I put that back tight enough? Is that, what's this? What's that? There's a lot to consider. You know, it's just one of those things, really. You just have to take things nice and steady. Big steering wheel on, you know, we've got a big lean on. This guy behind me is obviously fucking absolutely fuming because he's just overtaken me. He could have just waited till we got to this dual carriageway, and that wouldn't have been a problem, but you know, that is what happens when you drive a car like this. You know, everyone's just impatient these days, wants to get everywhere at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So here we are, back where it all started. Those of you who watched the first video will recognise this place as where I first introduced this car to you. And yeah, paint job all finished now, so let me know what you think. I actually really like it with the marine blue and sandstone. We were nervous at first, but I have come round to it quite a lot. What else have we done in the past 3 months? Well, we've also fixed all the leaks in the engine, and we've also changed the wheels and tyres. And this car drives, you know, completely. It's like chalk and cheese to how it was when I first got it. It's absolutely unbelievable, other than it being horrendously slow. But it is 60 years old, so we'll lay it off. But I want to know what you think. Let me know, do you like the new paint job and the new wheels? I think it looks nice and aggressive. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Should I have kept it in its old tired blue with the silver roof? Should I have done half and half? Let me know in the comments.